Last year we battled so many invaders in the garden. So I'm building a bigger, better fence. I'm gonna keep those boogers out of my garden. Good morning. Good morning, friends. Welcome to Wild Coffee Homestead. Hey, we're so excited to have you with us today. We are adding fence. Today is fence day. Demo day is over, add the soil day is over, but today is fence day for our spring garden. So join us today as we start seeing the concept, the space that we're going to have sustainable, healthy food. So as we start the fencing process, you can see we've created a defined area. We've used construction string and rebar to create the outside edge, kind of a square edge, and so our total space in the garden, inside the fenced area, will be 54 feet long and 40 feet wide. We have enough space on the property to make it larger, but after a while, bringing in that much material, and we really felt like this was a good space for us. Our hopes and dreams here will have annuals, but we're also going to have perennials. We're going to create a whole row of berries. Bonnie and I eat a lot of blueberries, and boy, to be able to grow those ourselves is really exciting. And we have 6 really productive plants now, and we just purchased another 6, so a dozen. We'll have room, we believe, for probably 24 blueberry plants, so we're excited about that. But here's our defined space, and you can see where some of it includes the area where we've already raised and brought in soil and wood chips and things like that for that base to raise it up. But you also see where there's spots that's still grass. And again, as we decided where to go with this, we expanded our hopes, and that's why we've created a little bit more space here at the front. So now we're setting the post, taking the time to really get them leveled and packed in and strong. In the corners, we're going to temporarily put some 2x4s to kind of make that a rigid corner, give us something to stretch our wire across. We were able to special order some black vinyl covered welded wire, 2 inches by 3 inches. The black is nice because it kind of disappears, and as we walk by, drive by, gaze into the garden, we'll be able to see the plants quite well. We don't want anything to really block our view of the garden, even though we want to block those stinking critters out of our garden, right? So we will set these posts around, and then as we get a side done and corners braced, then we're going to stretch the wire from corner to corner, or where there's a gate, from gate to corner. In the gate areas, we're going to set those posts in concrete to kind of give them more rigidity. But the sand, and you notice the sand, right? We're really sandy soil as we get to the native stuff, and but in that sand really packs tight, so it's really a better solution for most of the fence post. In Florida, because those posts will sit in water, the concrete doesn't really benefit. Sometimes it can work against us. So we're going to let that be free and be packed in sand. You'll also notice the different colors in the sand. And those are the mineral or organic materials that have been a part of that sandy area. So the very white sand is our beach sand, and that's pretty common in Florida. If you dig and there's no mineral content or organic content, it gets pretty white pretty quick. As you see the yellow or the orange colored sand, that's probably minerals including iron and sulfur. and they will discolor that sand that color. So that's obviously present. If you do a shallow well in Florida, there's a lot of sulfur in it. It smells like rotten eggs. That's not so nice, but it might be good for the plants. And then the darker stuff, that's from the organic material that's leaching into the sand, and that's what we're hoping for. You know, we darken our sand with organic, and in Florida we have to add a lot of organic material. So as we go around the garden, we'll then start adding our wire fence. And then you'll notice we're taking the time to add a wood bottom and top to the fence. This will help kind of give it some strengthen up post to post, but it's also a strategy. I need to know what level is. So when I need to add a little bit more material, and I'm going to add more material to this garden, I want to make it as level as possible. I don't mind it crowning and running out of the garden. But because I'm not a surveyor and I'm not this amazing tractor guy, and I don't have GPS on my tractor blade, obviously, that wooden board kind of gives me a space to know, okay, that's a level. And we're holding that up a little bit because I do plan to add more material. The hope is eventually it will be closer to that 8 to 10 inches of raised area. We're calling this lovingly Mount Wild Coffee, the Wild Coffee Mountain, because it might be the highest place on our property. But that's the hope here. So as we add that board to the top and the bottom, we're taking the time to make it as level as possible. And Bonnie's coming out here to help us do that. We're working our way around, so we're going to have this on 3 sides. We'll leave the back of the garden or one of the 40-foot openings open, so then I can then continue to backfill and work in the garden. Because we're going to have 15 6-foot by 3-foot raised beds. That's a lot of material to bring in as well. Our compost and our peat moss and our worm castings and all of that. Even some of our soil will add to those boxes. It's nice to have a tractor help us do that. And again, we're doing the raised beds in kind of a back to Eden hybrid system. We're going to add a lot of compost on the top, and we'll continue to do so. That'll be a kind of our mulch covered area top. We may even add pine fines or pine needles to the top of our blueberry area, again because they like that acidity. Again, keeping that back to Eden thought that this is a covered ground. But because it's raised, it'll be a lot easier as Bonnie and I live here, even as we think about retirement and 10 or 15 years, it'll be something that will continue to live with us. So we kind of have a long range view of this garden. So that's our hope here. As we add that top and the bottom, I can see where it's starting to take shape. We're getting excited, seeing that come to our dreams, our hopes, our plans kind of come to the fullness, the completeness in this space. So here you're starting to see the kind of the finished product, the garden coming together. Oh, we're excited. This is a lot of planning. We've been thinking about this ever since our Back to Eden garden flooded, and then our plants started rotting because the wood chips that were beneficial in the beginning became kind of detrimental as they held the water against the plants, and the plants rotted and died. We lost 75 potato plants last year. The potatoes just died in the ground, just rotting in the ground. So again, raising this area up is going to be a great, great benefit for us. So starting to look pretty good, don't you think? Hey, thanks for joining us today. Dulcie's excited. She's got her sweater on. Temperature started to drop, so we're excited about that. For those of you who are buried under winter, thanks for joining us and starting to even dream about your spring. Hang in there. It'll come. It will. Don't fret. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Tomorrow we're going to start putting together raised beds and blueberry beds, perennial beds, and so come back tomorrow and join us for that. But hey, if you haven't already subscribed, can you say that, Dulcie? If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do so. we enjoy sharing this journey with you. So thank you for joining us today. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Right, Dulcie? Right? Right? Have a good day. Every day's a good day with Dulcie. Every day. As long as Daddy doesn't forget to feed you. Oh yeah. The sun feels good, doesn't it?